People may think that because I post videos about cops acting badly, that get arrested and doing other things, that I'm against cops. I'm not. Actually, the sheriff of Polk County, Florida, is somebody who I have a lot of admiration for. Sheriff Grady Judd just had his sheriff's department arrest 255 people. 26 of these people were illegal immigrants. Now, I'm going to show you two clips. The first clip is from an interview that he had, or not an interview, a press conference that he had, and he's just listing off the people, the different types of people that he arrested. And then I'm going to have a clip following immediately after it where they allowed CBS News 12, WPEC, down in Florida to be embedded into this. Now, I've already told you about the 26 illegals arrested. Now you're going to hear about some of the other folks that were arrested in that second clip. So let's let you listen to this massive Operation Fool Around and find out. And let me tell you something. I'm impressed. I really am.
Howdy, y'all. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. What we have here is a channel to communicate. I want you folks to be thinking by the time you leave my videos. Why? Because I'm tired of people talking via what other people tell them to think. So, watch my video and enjoy the chance to think for yourself.
So the important thing to remember with this operation, there were three components. There was a human trafficking component, a child predator component, and an illegal immigration component. We arrested 255 people in 9 days. 141 Johns, 93 prostitutes, 10 others that drove for proceeds and etc. We had people come from 12 different states to be arrested in Polk County, Florida. Obviously, they must live under a rock, but now they live in the county jail. They also came from Puerto Rico. We arrested a huge number of child predators, 11. What's important about this is arresting child predators is very difficult. It takes a talented group of folks. You're going to hear more about these child predators because they're the most despicable. And I can tell you that if we didn't make any of these arrests and only had one child predator we took out of circulation, all of the resources would have been worth it. Illegal immigration, as you know, is on everyone's mind, and you can watch the evening news depending on what you watch, what you want to hear. But I can tell you that about 15% of all of our arrests in the human trafficking operation and our predator operation, about 15% were here illegally in this country. You'll hear more in a minute. They came from Venezuela, Cuba, Honduras, Mexico, Haiti, Colombia, Guatemala. 22 of these folks were receiving government assistance. That's right. We all work, we pay taxes, and then that tax money was given to these folks to use to come commit crime. I want you to think about that the next time you look at your pay stub and see your money going out to the federal government. Know that the federal government is giving money to these folks so that they don't have to work and can come here and violate the law. The youngest we arrested was 17, the oldest was 70. Our folks stand in the gap between good and evil. They took 8 firearms during this operation from 8 different suspects. 25 people were charged with narcotics. We filed 386 new charges, 102 felonies, 284 misdemeanors. Now there's always some that say, oh, it's low level, you know, it's consenting partners and yada, 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 yada. And once you get over that, understand these folks had as many as 919 previous criminal charges. One guy, we'll discuss, had 2 murder charges. And by the way, he spent a long time in prison, but he got out just in time to fool around and find out.
I'm National Investigative Correspondent Angie Moreski with a Spotlight on America exclusive. We're here at a hotel room in Central Florida embedded with law enforcement for a massive undercover operation to fight human trafficking. Photojournalist Nathan Aaron and I watched all the action into the wee hours of the morning for this 9-day operation and have a rare and fascinating look behind the scenes.
Can you show yourself?
Show myself?
Yeah.
This exclusive surveillance video shows an undercover detective posing as a customer with a suspected prostitute who just arrived at his hotel room.
Oh.
Hidden cameras capture it all as a Polk County Sheriff's supervisor watches every move from another room across the hall, signaling to the takedown team ready and waiting to go in for the arrest.
I knew it.
The suspect is bound with zip ties and quickly taken to another room to be processed, where we talked with her. How did you end up here?
I'm just being perfectly honest. Life is life. Bills don't stop. I have kids to feed. I have bills to pay.
We got confirmation of an exchange deal.
Lieutenant Bobby Kirkpatrick is the operation commander.
All right, move in, take him down.
Who oversees every detail of the 9-day mission. Before your guys go in there to arrest, they have to close the deal.
That is correct. Some type of discussion, agreement of sex act and something of monetary value.
She's out on the 2nd floor.
But he says it's about more than prostitution.
Omaha.
Their main goal is to fight human sex trafficking. How big of a problem is human trafficking?
It's a huge problem. It's a huge problem all over the United States.
Sheriff, here we are in the takedown room.
Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd is the driving force behind the operation.
Welcome to Polk County.
Under his watch, they've conducted major stings like this for the past 15 years.
No one has the right to traffic another human being. No one has the right to treat a human being like their property. What we see many times, these human traffickers or these pimps, as they're called on the street, they'll actually brand or tattoo their ladies, and that just fires me up.
Human sex trafficking is described as a form of modern-day slavery, with an estimated 100 to 150,000 victims nationwide. The highest number of cases reported in California, Texas, and Florida.
Are you from? You?
At least 4 potential human trafficking victims were identified during the sting, including this woman who left her 4-year-old child in the car with a suspected trafficker, also arrested. Judd says many victims are undocumented immigrants. Why is it important to do this?
We rescue a lot of people with these human trafficking operations.
He's on the 2nd floor now, walking.
We've been here for about an hour now on day 6 of the sting. We've already seen 3 takedowns, and they're teeing up for yet another one. The arrests come fast as the hour gets later, with both alleged customers and suspected prostitutes caught. Some, like this woman, detectives say, carrying weapons. How dangerous is that?
We never know what their intentions are, and we have to always be on guard.
A total of 8 guns were confiscated during the sting, and 255 people arrested. Several told Spotlight they learned their lesson.
I ain't doing this ever again, I promise. Y'all got my word, y'all ain't gonna ever see me again.
Among the most notable arrested, this former NFL player with Carolina and Tampa Bay, Adarius Taylor, who officials say left his 6-year-old autistic son in the car. Nothing to say? He buried his head when we tried to talk with him.
Who is it? Cocaine?
Also, a suspected cocaine trafficker with previous felony charges carrying 7 baggies of cocaine.
Greg, yeah, where are you from?
An Orlando doctor who playfully chatted,
There you go.
quickly handing over his money. And perhaps most shocking, Regional Director for the American Red Cross, Eric Corliss, charged not only with soliciting a prostitute, but also child sex crime-related offenses.
My focus is first to protect the children. We're after those that want to stalk, groom, and have sex with young children.
What's happening?
Right now, the takedown team
You
is
guys even
boxing
notice
in his
that
car, and
getting them out of the car.
A second team outside was simultaneously targeting suspected child sex predators. 11 of the so-called travelers were also caught. 3 predators in a row tonight.
That's right. Not only are they going to face incarceration, but generally their life as they knew it is over. All right, let's go.
All of the suspects were taken down a back stairwell to avoid detection.
It's the last one.
And shuttled off to jail. Their potential punishment ranges from 60 days in jail and fines for the prostitution to up to life in prison for the worst of the suspected predators. For Spotlight on America, I'm Angie Moreski.
Now, you may have heard Sheriff Judd talk about, oh, we took so many firearms off. I think it was 8. Well, here's the thing. He's a pro-Second Amendment person. He has actually said in a press conference that if you attempt something in his county, if you attempt to break in, they will shoot you. And he wasn't talking about his sheriff's deputies. No, he was talking about the homeowners. So he isn't against people having firearms. He's against these types of people having firearms. 255 people arrested. You saw the different types of people that were arrested. You heard all of that. Fox 13 in Tampa Bay, CBS 12, all these are carrying this news. Why? Because these people appreciate what is going on down there. When you look at the comments, it is just salute to Grady Judd. He has to be the very best sheriff in America. This sheriff is an absolute gem. Every community deserves a man like him. God bless Grady Judd, our Florida sheriffs, and the great state of Florida. This is the kind of comments that are going on in these. This is what's going on in Florida. And it should be going on all over the country, but instead, you have these areas that are allowing illegal immigrants to run away from the law. You have law enforcement that are helping criminals. You have law enforcement in some places that are criminals themselves. I covered yesterday where I'm trying to get y'all that are around Arkansas to be on the lookout for a former police chief that just escaped from prison. He had been a correctional officer. He had been an elected constable, police, all these things. But you take a look at somebody like Grady Judd, I can look up to a man like that. I like Grady Judd. And look what he's doing for his folks in Florida. This has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Bye. So, folks, that's the story that I wanted to bring you on this video. And I just wanted to say thank you again for coming by. Hit like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff if you don't mind. Help me out. So, y'all have a good day now. Bye.